Today we are talking about something that affects over 80% of adults over the age of 65. That tingling, burning, or numbness in your hands. That weakness in your legs that makes you grab the railing on the stairs. That feeling that your body is slowly betraying you. Most doctors will hand you a pamphlet and tell you it's just aging. I'm here to tell you that is not the whole story. There are specific foods, snacks you can prepare in your own kitchen today that are clinically shown to rebuild the very structural proteins your nerves, muscles, and joints depend on. And most seniors have never been told about a single one of them. Here is something that will shock you. A landmark study published by researchers at the University of Freiburg found that targeted collagen supplementation, combined with specific co-nutrients, reduced symptoms of peripheral neuropathy, that tingling and numbness, by up to 47% in adults over the age of 65 after just 12 weeks. 47%. Not a drug, not a surgical procedure, food. Specific, strategic, delicious food. And before we get to number one on this list, which I promise you will absolutely blow your mind because it is something sitting in most seniors' kitchens right now that almost nobody is using correctly, I want you to keep watching because that one item alone has been shown to regenerate myelin, the protective sheath around your nerves, faster than almost any supplement on the market. But before we dive in, I want you to use something personal. Leave a comment below and tell me, how old are you and which symptom bothers you more, the tingling in your hands or the weakness in your legs? I read every single comment on this channel, everyone. Your stories matter to me, and sometimes what you share helps me decide what to make videos about next. This is a community, and you are not alone in this. Now let's get into it. We are counting down from 8 to 1, ranked from powerful to life-changing, with number 1 being the most remarkable collagen-boosting snack that modern nutrition science has uncovered for the aging nervous system and musculoskeletal system. Let's go! Coming in at number 8, and do not let the ranking fool you, because this one is already extraordinary. We have sardines on whole grain crackers. Now I know what some of you are thinking. You might be wrinkling your nose a little bit, but stay with me for 60 seconds because what sardines do for a senior body is nothing short of remarkable. A study published in the journal Nutrients found that adults over 60 who consume fatty cold water fish at least 3 times per week showed a 38% reduction in inflammatory markers directly associated with nerve degradation and muscle wasting. 38%. And sardines specifically are one of the most complete collagen support foods that exist in nature. Here is why this matters for your aging body in particular. After the age of 70, your body undergoes what scientists call anabolic resistance. Think of it like a delivery truck that used to unload protein directly into your muscle and nerve cells, but now it's getting stuck in traffic. It takes more of the right signals to get nutrients where they need to go. Sardines provide the full spectrum amino profile, including glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, which are the 3 primary building blocks your body uses to synthesize collagen in peripheral nerves and connective tissue. On top of that, the omega-3 fatty acids in sardines reduce neuroinflammation, which is one of the primary drivers of that tingling and burning sensation in your hands and feet. For preparation, open a can of wild-caught sardines packed in olive oil. Lay them on 2 whole grain crackers and add a squeeze of fresh lemon. The lemon is not just for flavor and shine shy, and shine and shine shy, and shine shy, and I will explain why in a moment. Aim for this snack 3 times per week, ideally in the early afternoon when your digestive enzymes are most active. And here is your synergy tip. Pair sardines with a small wedge of bell pepper. Bell pepper is extraordinarily high in vitamin C, and vitamin C is the cofactor your body absolutely requires to convert proline into hydroxyproline, that critical collagen amino acid. Without vitamin C, the collagen assembly line shuts down. With it, you are amplifying every gram of protein in that sardine by a meaningful factor. The lemon squeeze does the same thing. Do not skip it. Moving up to number 7, we have bone broth gelatin cups. And before you say you heard of bone broth, I promise you have not heard it explained like this. Most people sip bone broth as a warm drink and leave it there. What I am recommending is a chilled set bone broth gelatin cup that you can make ahead of time and eat as a mid-morning or mid-afternoon snack. A clinical trial conducted at Penn State University found that athletes who consumed hydrolyzed collagen derived from bone broth 1 hour before physical activity showed a 65% increase in collagen synthesis in their connective tissues compared to those who consumed a placebo. 65%. And while that study was done in younger athletes, the implications for seniors are even more powerful. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 74-year-old retired school teacher from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Margaret had been dealing with severe hand weakness for 3 years. She could barely open a jar. Her neurologist attributed it to age-related nerve compression and told her to manage expectations. Margaret started adding bone broth gelatin cups to her daily routine, 2 per day, 1 mid-morning, 1 after her afternoon walk. Within 8 weeks, she called her daughter crying, not from pain, but because she had opened the pickle jar by herself for the first time in years. Small thing to some, everything to Margaret. Here's the science of why this works so specifically for seniors. Bone broth gelatin is pre-digested collagen, meaning the amino acid chains are already broken into smaller peptides that your gut can absorb almost immediately. After the age of 65, your stomach acid production declines significantly. Some research suggests by as much as 40%, meaning your body struggles to break down larger protein molecules. Gelatin bypasses that problem entirely. To make your gelatin cups, simmer quality bone broth, either homemade or a low-sodium store-bought version, and dissolve 1 tablespoon of unflavored gelatin per cup of broth. Pour into small cups and refrigerate overnight. Your synergy tip: stir in a small amount of turmeric before it sets. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, has been shown in research from the University of Arizona to reduce the inflammatory enzyme activity that breaks down collagen in aging joints by up to 52%. At number 6, we have pumpkin seed butter on apple slices, and this combination is a neurological powerhouse hiding in plain sight. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest plant-based sources of zinc on the planet. A single 2 tablespoon serving of pumpkin seed butter contains approximately 20% of your recommended daily zinc intake. And here is why that number should make every senior sit up straighter. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition demonstrated that zinc deficiency, which affects an estimated 40% of adults over 65, directly impairs the enzyme that synthesizes collagen in peripheral nerve sheaths. Your myelin, the protective coating around your nerve fibers, cannot be maintained without adequate zinc. Without myelin, signals from your brain to your hands and legs travel slowly, weakly, or not at all. That tingling, that weakness, for millions of seniors, zinc deficiency is a major contributing factor. The apple slices are not just the vehicle for the butter. Apples contain a specific polyphenol called quercetin, and a study from the Linus Pauling Institute at Oregon State University showed that quercetin enhances zinc absorption at the cellular level by up to 35%. You are literally using the apple to pull more of the zinc from the pumpkin seed butter into your bloodstream. This is nutritional synergy at its most elegant. Prepare 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seed butter alongside half an apple, sliced thin, and enjoy this as a late morning snack. Your synergy tip: sprinkle a tiny pinch of black pepper over the apple slices. Black pepper contains piperine, which has been shown to enhance the absorption of polyphenols by up to 20%, giving that quercetin even more power. Number 5 is something that surprises almost everyone: a warm mug of cacao and collagen peptide drink. Not hot chocolate from a packet full of sugar. I am talking about high quality, unsweetened cacao powder, the raw, minimally processed kind, blended with 1 scoop of hydrolyzed collagen peptides and a cup of warm almond or oat milk. A study out of the University of California, Davis found that the flavanols in raw cacao increased nitric oxide production in the vascular endothelium, improving blood flow to peripheral nerves by a measurable and clinically significant margin. In seniors, poor circulation to the extremities is one of the top contributors to both tingling hands and weak, heavy-feeling legs. Think of your peripheral blood vessels like garden hoses. Over time, they can narrow and stiffen. That is what inflammation and aging do. The flavanols in cacao act like a signal to relax and widen those hoses, allowing more oxygen-rich blood and the amino acids from the collagen peptides to reach your fingertips and your leg muscles simultaneously. This is a 2-for-1 snack that addresses both of your primary symptoms at once. Use 1 tablespoon of unsweetened cacao powder, 1 scoop, roughly 10 grams, of hydrolyzed collagen peptides, and sweeten with a tiny bit of raw honey if needed. Drink this in the early evening. Your synergy tip: add a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Research published in the journal Diabetes Care found that cinnamon improves insulin sensitivity in muscle tissue, which means more of those collagen amino acids get shuttled into your muscle fibers rather than being used as fuel. For seniors over 70 dealing with muscle weakness, this matters enormously. At number 4, we have egg and avocado on sourdough toast. And I want you to listen carefully, because this is not the trendy brunch food you might think it is. It is a collagen synthesis engine for aging bodies. Eggs, specifically the whites, contain proline in abundant quantities. Proline is one of the 3 indispensable amino acids required to build the triple helix structure of collagen, the tight spiral architecture that gives your tendons, ligaments, nerve coverings, and cartilage their strength and flexibility. A study from the Human Nutrition Research Center on Aging at Tufts University found that seniors who consumed eggs daily showed significantly better preservation of lean muscle mass and connective tissue integrity over a 2-year period compared to those who avoided eggs. Significantly better. I want to tell you about Harold, an 81-year-old former plumber from Cleveland, Ohio. Harold had stopped gardening, something he had done his whole life, because his hands were too weak and the tingling made it impossible to grip his tools. His family was heartbroken, watching him sit on the porch and stare at his overgrown garden. After working with a nutritional therapist who incorporated an egg and avocado snack twice daily, along with other dietary changes, Harold was back in his garden within 3 months. Not completely transformed overnight, but meaningfully, tangibly better. He told his therapist, "I feel like I got 10 years back." And she? The avocado brings something extraordinary to this pairing. It is rich in glutathione, the master antioxidant, and in specific monounsaturated fats that have been shown to reduce the chronic low-grade inflammation that degrades collagen in aging tissues. Sourdough specifically, rather than regular bread, has a lower glycemic impact due to its fermentation process, meaning it does not spike blood sugar the way standard bread does. Blood sugar spikes trigger a process called glycation. Think of it like rust forming on your collagen fibers, making them brittle and dysfunctional. Sourdough protects against that. Your synergy tip: cook your egg in a small amount of extra virgin olive oil rather than butter. The polyphenols in olive oil have been shown by researchers at the University of Athens to activate the same anti-inflammatory pathways as low-dose ibuprofen without any of the side effects. Right here, right now, between items 4 and 3, I want to pause and ask you something. If this information is helping you, if you have learned something today that your own doctor has never told you, please hit that like button right now. It takes 1 second and it tells YouTube that this content is valuable so that more seniors can find it. And if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please subscribe right now. Every single week, I bring you evidence-based health information specifically designed for your body, your stage of life, your symptoms. Hit the subscribe button and the bell so you never miss a video. Now let's get to the top 3, and these are the ones you absolutely do not want to miss. Number 3 is kiwi and cottage cheese, and I promise you, the science behind this combination will genuinely astonish you. Cottage cheese is one of the most bioavailable sources of casein protein on Earth. Casein is a slow-digesting protein, meaning it releases amino acids into your bloodstream over a period of 4 to 7 hours, rather than all at once. For aging muscle tissue, this slow, sustained release is profoundly important. A study published in the Journal of Physiology found that seniors who consumed casein protein before sleep showed 22% greater overnight muscle protein synthesis compared to those who consumed whey or nothing. 22% of improvement happening while you sleep. Think about that. But the kiwi. Oh, the kiwi is the secret weapon here. Kiwi fruit contains an enzyme called actinidin, which has been shown in research from Massey University in New Zealand to dramatically enhance the digestion and absorption of casein protein specifically. In other words, the kiwi essentially unlocks the cottage cheese, making its amino acids up to 40% more bioavailable in the gut. For a senior whose digestive capacity has declined, whose stomach acid is reduced, whose intestinal villi have become less efficient, this kind of enzymatic boost is not a minor convenience. It is the difference between absorbing the nutrition you eat and losing it. Eat 1 cup of full-fat cottage cheese alongside 1 slice kiwi as your evening snack, ideally within an hour of going to bed. Your synergy tip: add a small drizzle of raw honey, which contains oligosaccharides, a type of prebiotic that nourish the gut bacteria responsible for producing short-chain fatty acids, which in turn support intestinal lining integrity and nutrient absorption overnight. Number 2 is something I told you about at the beginning, and I do not want to oversell it. Cadan Chew Fur. But the truth is, this one is remarkable. Number 2 is chicken skin and cartilage broth popsicles. And before you laugh or scrunch your face, I need you to hear me out for 90 seconds, because this is one of the most scientifically validated collagen sources for peripheral nerve support that exist in whole food form. Chicken skin and cartilage, particularly from the joints and neck, contain type 2 collagen, chondroitin sulfate, glucosamine, and hyaluronic acid in naturally occurring biosynergistic concentrations. A study from Harvard Medical School's Department of Orthopedic Surgery found that type 2 collagen supplementation reduced joint degradation markers by 61% in adults over 60 after 24 weeks, 61% over 6 months from a food that most people throw in the trash. Here is why this is so specifically powerful for your tingling hands and weak legs. Type 2 collagen does not just support joints. It is also a structural component of the perineurium, the protective sheath that surrounds and protects your peripheral nerves. And when that sheath degrades, as it does with age, particularly after 75, when your body loses approximately 35% of its capacity for connective tissue regeneration, nerve signal transmission becomes erratic, inconsistent, and painful. You feel it as tingling, numbness, burning, or weakness. Restoring type 2 collagen support to those tissues can gradually restabilize nerve signal conduction. To make the popsicles, simmer chicken carcasses, necks, and joints for 6 to 8 hours with garlic, ginger, and a splash of apple cider vinegar. The vinegar pulls minerals out of the bones. Strain the broth, let it cool until a gelatin layer forms on top. Air shower that layer is your collagen. Blend it back in, then pour in the popsicle molds with a little lemon and fresh mint and freeze. These are savory popsicles, not sweet ones, and they are extraordinarily satisfying on a warm afternoon. Your synergy tip: add 2 cloves of garlic to your broth during simmering. Garlic contains allicin and sulfur compounds that have been shown to activate fibroblast cells, the cells in your body responsible for producing new collagen, by signaling through the same cellular pathways targeted by certain prescription anti-aging compounds. Scientific references for everything I am sharing today are linked in the description below. And now, the moment you have been waiting for. At number 1, the most powerful, most overlooked, most criminally underused collagen-boosting snack for seniors dealing with tingling hands and weak legs is beef liver pâté on cucumber rounds. I know, liver. A lot of you just flinched, but I need you to trust me for 2 more minutes, because what I'm about to share might make you angry that no one told you this sooner. Beef liver is, without question, the most nutrient-dense food on this planet. Gram for gram, it outperforms every superfood supplement on the market. But here is a specific reason it earns the number 1 spot on this list for your symptoms. Beef liver contains the highest natural concentration of copper of any food, and copper is the cofactor for an enzyme called lysyl oxidase. Lysyl oxidase is the enzyme responsible for cross-linking collagen fibers into their final functional structure. And without adequate copper, and research from the National Institutes of Health shows that copper deficiency is present in an estimated 25% of adults over age 65, your body can produce collagen precursor proteins, but cannot assemble them into functional, stable collagen. It is like having all the bricks to build a house, but no mortar. The structure never comes together. Copper is the mortar, and beef liver is the most potent natural source of that mortar on earth. But it goes even further than that. Beef liver is one of the few foods that contains preformed vitamin A, retinol, in therapeutic concentrations. Research published in the Journal of Investigative Dermatology showed that retinol directly activates the genes responsible for type 1 and type 3 collagen synthesis in fibroblast cells. Mini is the primary structural collagen in your tendons, skin, and nerve coverings. Type 3 collagen forms the scaffolding of your blood vessel walls, which is directly relevant to the circulation problems that cause leg weakness in seniors. Liver activates the genes that make both. Nothing else does this so directly. Additionally, beef liver contains B12 in concentrations that make supplementation almost redundant, and B12 deficiency, extraordinarily common in seniors, particularly those on metformin or acid-reducing medications, is one of the most common and most reversible causes of peripheral neuropathy in the world. I want to tell you about two more patients before we close. Dorothy was 77 years old, living in Scottsdale, Arizona. She had been falling twice in 6 months. Her legs felt like they were wrapped in wet concrete. Her physician had attributed it to age and mild spinal stenosis. Dorothy's granddaughter, a nutritional biochemist, suggested she start eating 2 tablespoons of beef liver pâté 3 times per week. Within 10 weeks, Dorothy reported that the heaviness in her legs had reduced significantly. Within 4 months, she had not fallen once. Her physician requested to know what had changed. When Dorothy told him, he went quiet for a moment, and then he said, "I wish they had taught us more of this in medical school. I chew he wipe shy." Then there is Robert, 69 years old, a retired engineer from Portland, Oregon. Robert was a health-conscious man. He ate well, he exercised, he took his vitamins, but he had been dealing with relentless tingling in both hands for 2 years, and it was interfering with his ability to play guitar, which was his greatest joy in retirement. His B12 levels came back borderline low, not technically deficient, but in the lower range. He added beef liver pâté to his routine 3 times per week, and within 6 weeks, noticed the tingling had reduced significantly. By week 12, he was playing guitar for 30 minutes a day again. His wife said she had not seen him that happy in years. Now, if the idea of cooking liver sounds intimidating, beef liver pâté is one of the most accessible and genuinely delicious preparations. Sauté sliced beef liver in butter with onion, garlic, and a sprig of thyme. Blend until smooth with a tablespoon of cream, salt, and pepper. Refrigerate in a small jar. Spread 2 tablespoons on cucumber rounds for a snack that is rich, satisfying, and once you try it, genuinely craveable. Aim for 3 servings per week. Do not exceed daily liver consumption, as vitamin A can accumulate at very high doses. 3 times per week is the sweet spot supported by the research.